Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to CollectioNeo. Today we're going to do another Hey, Let's Talk About, and this is Dinosaurs Part 2. In my first video I did a little rundown of Papo, which were fantastically affordable and well painted and well designed dino figures in 1/35 scale, or thereabouts. And I did promise at the end of that video we'd talk about Rebor, so we're getting around to that right now. Rebor, as you can see, we've got a few of the boxes at the back here, and I'll go into one of the boxes in detail in a minute and what exactly you get. But Rebor are a Chinese company from where I can see. They don't seem to have done much else, but they do pretty decent quality dino. Well, the statues really, they're made of like a hard resin, not like a polystone, but a hard resin, plastic. They do have polystone bases, a couple of them, what feels to be, a polystone base anyway. And they're pretty decent quality. But with that, we do get a price increase. Papo with what? Anywhere between 8 and the most expensive being £25 for the big brachiosaur, and T-Rex is running this about £20. The least I spent on one of these was £30, and the most was 50. But they do go up to about 70, 80 quid, so they're a lot more expensive, and to be honest, I don't know if they're that much better than Papo. They're nicely, they are nice figures and stuff, but I was thinking this would be, a bit more. I thought the quality jump would be bigger. I mean, really, a 1/35 dinosaur for around 50 quid, as you'll see, they're pretty decent size. And when you look at like Koto 110 scale figures or Iron Studios 110 scale statues, they're a lot more expensive, but I don't know if the quality's there of these. As I say, we'll go into them. They're nicely detailed, they're pretty well painted. Just some little things that I wish was better, which we'll go into. So as you can see, the boxes at the back, and they've all got this skeleton design on. Every single one's got a nickname. So we've got the Acrocanthosaurus here, which is nicknamed Hercules. As you can see at the back there, we've got the Wyrex and the Dinosaurs, which are nicknamed the Cerberus clan. What you get are these rather nice boxes. And on the back, you have other ones, so the King T-Rex. The T-Rex is pretty cool looking. Comes with a basic rock stand with 1 foot on the floor. I do wonder, once, because I've had the other one, these ones that I've got, which I'll go into, how well the Rex stand up, as that's the main issue I have with these things. But you can get a dead Triceratops base, and that is one of the cooler things about Rebor. A lot of the things combine, which is nice, and which we'll get into in a bit. What have we got there? Ceratosaurus, nicknamed Savage, and we've got the Utah Raptor, known as Wind Hunter. There's Wyrex. So the boxes, most of them just slide out. They have like a sleeve to reveal plain cardboard box. Flip it open. We have a couple of things in here. First off, I think all of them have come with this. One of these nice little cards. So the Acrocanthosaurus here. Little toilet reading. Very nice presentation. Blank on the back, so I think everyone gets one of those. From what I remember, they've all got them in, and then they are packaged really nicely. So as you can see here, there's cut out shapes. They come bagged, extra pieces of foam. We have plastic for some of the more delicate bits. A slot for the base, and holes there for the extra bits. It's all very nice, high quality packaging. Whereas a Papo, you just get the dinosaur in a plastic bag usually. You know, these are definitely more along the statue line rather than say the educational toy that Papo is. Put that back in. So it's Hercules done. I think the box design on the Cerberus clan is slightly different. Yeah, we've got a little, and then you've just got the foam in there. It really reminds me of when you buy, let's say, custom statues from China. You know, like the Dragon Ball Z ones I've reviewed in the past and things like that. They use a lot of that sort of foam. So let's go on to a dino, eh? And we'll go with Hercules first. Now, straight away, let's just bring the camera down slightly. Now, I've got a completely flat surface here. And as you can see, he's quite rocky. There's the sweet spot. But, yeah, there you go. Now look here, it is a hard resin. It's not a polystone. It's not going to shatter. But he's really unstable. I don't know if this is just mine, but I did buy it brand new. But as you can see, paints and details, and we do have an articulated jaw, which is very stiff on this. The details are really nice on them. And they probably are a higher level of paint than the Papo. I just wish you'd give him a better footprint for his stand up. And it gets worse when, look how tight that drawer is there, yeah. So he does come with a stand, like I say, it's a little, what do you stand up? Little hard resin, polystone-y. See, that one doesn't feel polystone, that might just be a resin. And they've got like this dry desert. Not the best paint on this base. But you know, it's nice. But the problem is, will he Hal stand up on this base? Of course he's done it straight away now on camera. But I've had him on display a few times where he's literally just middle of the night, I've heard that. You know, it's really not stable enough to, like, it's just, I think I just found the sweet spot by a look on that first time, which is sad. Now for me, a magnet in the foot there and this having a metal base like the Kotobikita Artifacts Plus statues would have been fantastic. I think it justifies the money. Then it would have made more sense when you see how the rest of the piece sets up with the other bits, so you could literally have them where you wanted and you'd have no problems. Or I would have even gone for pegs, you know, pegs on the base sticking out or pegs on the feet, and let's get him on a solid base, because this base isn't really good enough. But like I say, it's a really nice piece on its own, really well painted, as they all are, as we'll get into. And this also comes with this piece, which is a part of I'm reading this off the box if you can't tell, a Tenontosaurus, which I'm guessing is a large herbivore. And this is actually, again, nicely detailed, well painted. So this actually comes with the Acrocanthosaurus, and of course, because his mouth opens, we've actually got little grooves here so you can put that piece in his mouth. But wherever he stands up is another thing entirely. And like I say, this is 50 quid, so for your £50 you're getting the dino, the dead dino, and the base, the box, the packaging, and the info card. And it's a nice, you know, if you want to stay small scale, it's a nice piece. That dino will not stay in his mouth you know, I've had this on display for a few weeks, and it is. I've basically got him up against the back of the display, so he's literally touching, because otherwise he just goes, and then this is just a balancing act. I'm a real stickler for assembly and quality control. I think sometimes it can matter more than, super detailed paints. Paints are everything, really, but, if the thing doesn't stand up right or loses its balance, I think it's something that should be addressed straight away. And like I say, it might be just mine, but this is the first piece I got by Rebor, and it didn't paint a fantastic picture. So there's the first one. Acrocanthosaurus, and he just fell over again, of course. And then I decided to pick up, because these went with him. These are the Dinosaurs, the Cerberus clan. These are very, very tiny. Just sort his jaw out. There we go. So these have articulated wings at the front, which, again, quality. You move them up and down, they unpeg. As you probably just saw with the jaw there, you pull the jaw out, pull it too far, it unpegs. So obviously you just don't want to pull it too far. And the arms, you've kind of got to move them into position while putting pressure on at the top. But again, they're nicely painted, nicely detailed. These are very soft plastic. These feel more like a Papo, to be honest. Or sub-Papo, I'd even say. Because again, they stand. And when I say they, is because you get a pack of 3. You get different colour variations. So these are 30 quid. That's 30 Great British pounds for 3. So a tenner each. The smaller Papos are about £7-8 each. None of them really stand up properly. He says that one stands up perfectly. Obviously it all depends on arm position. This one's arms have really, I've hardly done anything to him, and this one's really gone a bit loose. But you can get them all standing, but literally a tiny bit of movement and you're gonna, they're gonna fall back. So they end up standing like that more on the tails, and then they come with these bases, which are just, they got all your names on there. So Cerberus clan, Tooth, one called Shoot, one called Thrill. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I don't know which one's which now, I've completely forgot. But of course, these bases have got nothing on them. So it is literally a balancing act. And that one stands really well, actually. It's these two. But as you see, as the whole thing comes together, it's a real balancing act. Can we even see these bases? There we go. But just the magnets in there, little tiny magnets, and I know they do them that small. I wouldn't even mind, slightly making the sculpt bigger just to get the magnets in, and then these being metal bases. Oh, that would have been so good. You just, just to give them that bit of stability. But nay, Rebor haven't gone for that. Hopefully, £30 for those 3, I think. It's really expensive. It really is. And then the third part, which we saw a bit of, which came with the Acrocanthosaurus, was this part of the Dinosaurs. And so the rest of that was sold as a separate piece. And this again was £30, and I think this is, again, pretty expensive. You get all these pieces here, which are kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. So as you can see, it's on the base, it's got the actual dino. But it's pretty easy to figure out. Now my big problem is that, so there we go, that goes like that. Nope. This is that like that. So basically that goes like that. It doesn't really stick together. It's just you place it like that, and that's it. And then this is the dead dino. Again, good gore, good details, good guts, well painted. But that's 30 quid sitting there, which for me is a lot for a dead dino, but it's like the middle part of the diorama, so it needs to all come together. So as you can probably see, there's other bits that are cut out, so all these little Deinonychus bits do fit in certain places. That one goes there. Now the problem is with this is A, like I say, it doesn't stay together as it should, because there's nothing to hold it together. I think that piece just goes like that, to be honest. And then also, I don't think I'll be able to tell on camera, but the pieces that came with the Deinonychus are a completely different colour than the pieces that came with the Tyrannosaurus. As you can probably you can see on that one quite a lot. And then if we move all this slightly back, the piece from the Acrocanthosaurus, that slots in. Unfortunately, that's a different colour. So you get this awesome scene of the dead dino. This is, you know, a good 12 inches long now. It's a big ass scene. And you get your this piece, obviously, with the Acrocanthosaurus, we'll get there eventually, is off this. So you'd have him standing here, mouth open, like that, with maybe the dead dino in, or obviously you can put it on the base, and then you'd put all your Deinonychus around if they stood up. And to be honest, it's a pretty nice little diorama. It really works. Like I say, all the dinos are painted really well. It's a shame that the bases don't match up super well with the paint. And I can't believe that Acrocanthosaurus has stood up that easy, because he is literally about to go. I can feel it. Oh, maybe he isn't. Again, I've hit the sweet spot perfectly, which I was so ready to be annoyed in this review for him not standing up. But hey, of course, once the camera's on, everyone decides to perform. But that diorama there cost me £120. That's a pretty decent diorama for the money. I just wish, like I say, if the magnets are there, if these pieces joined better, if the paints were a little better, I'd be over the moon. But I think it's a little bit expensive for what you get. I think you could probably buy a few papos and buy a custom base, or make a custom base that looked a bit better. But it's a nice idea, and I get what Rebor are doing, and I like what Rebor are doing. I just wish they were doing this a little bit better. And then I've got also a Wyrex, who I picked up second hand. So I think he goes for about £35–40. A little bit cheaper than the big boy. But I think the paints on him are really, really good. I like the details on this one. I like the colour. Not really heard of a Wyrex, but apparently it's very feathered. So you've got all this texturing along the back. The wisp of the tail. Again, details and paint's pretty good. And with this guy, you get like this base. No detail on the bottom. They must have added that. I don't know if this is an earlier piece or a later piece. But you just get a quite a simple rocky base for this guy. Again, no pegs or anything, but there is kind of footprints in that base. Make sure. And there's your Yrex. He did fall over. He Yeah, he was gone. He was gone. But the Wyrex is pretty good. I do like the Wyrex. I think the Wyrex is a better piece. Maybe it's because it's a newer piece, I don't know. But it's a nice little piece. And it was nice that I picked him up a bit cheaper. And then just one last thing, which they do is these little 1/6 baby raptors. Which again, hard resin. They come with a little base. What's that say on there? Rebor 2016, made in PRC, which I'm guessing the People's Republic of China, I'd assume. As you can see, we just place him in there like that. These are actually like the little 1/6 Raptor is like a blind bag. So it's one hatchling and there's like a bunch of colours. I've seen people selling every colour in one big box. These are about £8 each. Pretty expensive for a blind bag, but it's a nice little piece. So yeah, that's Rebor, guys. I don't think they'll stay. I'm not as impressed as I was with Papo, and obviously with more bigger statues coming and busts and stuff, these can't really stay. They haven't made the grade. I just don't think they're worth the money, unfortunately, because I do like some of the designs and some of the diorama stuff that they do, especially the T-Rex standing over the Triceratops. But now with me having my Sideshow T-Rex and the Damn Toys T-Rex bust coming, I can't have many T-Rexes, but I'll keep my eye on for cheaper listings, and they're not going to go yet. A lot of my dino stuff's coming, you know, first quarter next year, so hopefully by April we'll have a few shelves full, ready for in March when I do a collection update. I've also got another dino that I'm going to review in a minute, so this will probably go up first, and then the next review will go up after it, and then the review after that you'll learn about in the next review. If that makes any sense. It kind of didn't. I talked about plastic dinosaurs again for 22 minutes, coming up to 23 minutes, so yeah. So there you go, guys, more of a review than a talk, but we did talk quite a lot about dinos in the last video, so if you haven't watched the Papo video, go and check it out, and I'll see you next review, which shouldn't be too long. Thanks for watching, if anyone's watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.